Ankit,
Hello, everyone.
nice to have you. How's it going?
Good. Apologies, I had some small technical difficulties.
Sure, happens, no problem. Great, let's just get started then. So again, I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for attending. I'm personally very excited to have this webinar with Ankit and with the Wio team. So we're going to talk about how you can simplify vendor payments with the Wafeq and Wio integration. Um, First, before we start, just a quick introduction. Happy to introduce myself, and then Ankit, I'll let you do the same. So I'm the founder and CEO of Wafeq. Wafeq is an accounting software for SMEs. We serve the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Tell you a little bit about us in the next slides. Ankit.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ankit. I'm the head of Wio Business. Wio is the digital bank based in the UAE and especially catering to the SME segment. We'll be talking more about Wio in the coming slides, just like how Wafeq will be doing, as Nadim has mentioned.
Awesome. Let you do a quick introduction of Wio, Ankit, and then I'll do the same, and let's jump into the meat of this presentation, which is the vendor payments.
Sure, I'll keep it short and sweet. Wio was launched in September 2022 as a digital financial platform to accelerate UAE's economy. In a short span of 2.5 years, we have become one of the largest banks in the country. Our investors are industry titans, Abu Dhabi Development Holding Company, ADQ, Alpha Dhabi, and First Abu Dhabi Bank. We've also won numerous awards, including the Best Digital Bank in the Middle East, the Best Digital SME Bank in the Middle East, the #1 FinTech in MENA, among many others.
Yeah. Awesome.
So Wio Business was set up as an operating system for SMEs. And what it means is it's a platform, not just a simple banking app. It serves your banking and beyond banking needs. It's designed to give back time to you as business owners, because we realize that as business owners, banking is the last of your worries. You should be focusing more on driving your business. And that's what Wio Business is designed for. So we offer all the products that you need under one digital roof. So our sign-up process is completely digital. You apply online through the app and you get your account in under 72 hours. We offer saving spaces, which is a way for you to save. So we realize that savings can be sometimes difficult, but we want to give you value back. So we're giving up to 4% interest on your business savings, which, by the way, is the highest in the market that you can do with Wio. And if you generally receive or send payments in multiple currencies like dollars, euros, or pounds, we offer free multi-currency accounts so that you can save on those currency exchange losses. We also have multi-signatory flows in case you have a different hierarchical structure of your organization. And we also offer a single card which can be used both as a debit and a credit card. Some of our beyond banking features that we offer is expense management. So we offer free virtual cards that you can use for your employees. So for example, you can assign a card to your accounts team who can do for petty cash or for any office supplies purchases. If you've got people who are drivers, you can assign the cards to them for fuel purchases. You literally decide how you want to use your card or share it within your organization. You can set limits and controls, so you're in full control of how you want to use this. We also offer free invoicing management service. So you can actually create invoices, embed payment links in it, and collect payments on behalf of those invoices. Payments is something we will be talking more in detail, but we offer the standard local and international payments to over 100 countries that you can send to at very competitive rates. In terms of financing, which is another pain point that businesses have, we offer comprehensive financing services, including credit cards, business loans, line of credit, and point of sale based loans as well. In terms of collections, we have payment gateway with Stripe partnership, and as well as point of sale devices with a few major providers in the UAE. So in case you need a point of sale device for your office or for your shop, Wio can help you provide it at much better rates than what you would go directly sourcing it. And finally, we have the basic features of cash management, which is cash deposits, check issuance and clearing, all free of charge for our SME customers. So in a nutshell, that's our beyond banking services.
Thank you. Okay.
So just a final point, I would like to say that in 2.5 years, we have now over 100,000 businesses banking with us, which makes us the largest SME bank in the country. Our customers are super happy. We have a 4.8 App Store rating and a Net Promoter Score, which is a standard metric used to measure how likely your customers are to recommend others, is 77, which again is one of the highest in the world. So we have a huge customer base and also a very happy customer base.
And that's not just among banks, one of the highest in the world among banks. It's even, even for a bank to get something even near that, it's impressive. For
yes,
non-banks,
right.
even it's really high. That's really
yes. I mean, if you
impressive.
talk about big consumer popular brands, the likes of Apple, Tesla, and all of those, they're all in the mid 40s range. There's hardly any bank in the 70+ range. So we are very proud of the score that we have from our customers.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that. I have opened 2 accounts, one personal and one business. Amazing experience, and I'm sure everybody else has gotten an amazing experience as well. Definitely recommend that you guys give Wio a try, especially if you want to automate, if you use Wafeq and you want to automate your accounting. Thank you, Ankit, for this introduction. I'm going to be quick on Wafeq. So Wafeq, we're an accounting software. We launched in 2019. We cover the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Our mission is to help businesses run better using great financial software. We have been accredited by the ZADCA, which is the Saudi Tax Authority, and we're fully compliant with the FTA. We are e-invoicing compliant in Saudi and will be also e-invoicing compliant in the UAE once the UAE launches e-invoicing next year. And one more thing I wanted to add, which is, so we have an office in the UAE and Saudi Arabia, and we cover also the rest of the GCC. Let's jump straight into the topic. So just for the story, actually, when I launched Wafeq back in 2019, my dream was to do what we're doing now with Wio. I really wanted to be able to automate as much of the accounting as possible, but back then there was no Wio, there were no APIs, and still most banks at the moment don't have APIs. So I was super excited when I got in touch with the Wio team. That was probably a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. And really what they're building is very impressive in terms of how innovative, forward-looking, tech-savvy. So yeah, this is, I think, this is the most innovative product, I believe, if I can humbly say, from Wio's side and our side, in terms of bringing something new to the market. I don't think you will find vendor payment automation in the market in the UAE, or at least not that accessible easily, completely self-serve, which is what we will show you. So anyone who's dealt with vendor payments, whether you're a business owner or whether you're a finance manager and you need to make payments, in the UAE, it's really tedious. The banks in the UAE are still largely behind what their counterparts in Europe and in the US or more developed countries, where in these markets, most banks will give you an API or at least make available an API for developers, and that allows you to automate payments. In the UAE, it's really almost non-existent. But now, thanks to what the guys at Wio have built, you can automate a large part of this process. And not only that, so it's not really just about the manual process. It's also about reducing errors, because when you have 2 platforms to worry about, let's say you have your accounting software, you're entering your invoices in the accounting software, and then you have to move to your bank, you have to log in, you have to enter the beneficiary, enter the amount. All of these things are prone to errors. So if you can have a fully integrated experience, that would really both save you time and reduce errors. Another aspect that this integration offers is approval flows. Very important for a business that typically, as soon as you reach maybe 10, 15, or 20 employees, you want to start having an approval flow. So typically, let's say you're the business owner, and then you have an accountant, and let's say you don't want the accountant to, typically the accountant does not make payments because it hasn't been accessible up until now. But now with this feature, you can let the accountant or the accounting firm, if you're dealing with an accounting firm, you can give them part of the accounts payable or vendor payments workflow, which is the part of preparing the payments. And you as the business owner will be basically the final authorizer. That once everything's prepared, all the IBAN is set up, the payments is set up, and so on. You just need to release the payment. So that's also a great thing that we bring to our users, is this approval flow that is completely streamlined. And then finally, because again, everything's in one platform, you have complete visibility over the whole process. So you know who created the payment, who approved it, when it was released, and then once it shows up on the bank statement, it gets also automatically reconciled. And then you can also trigger a payment advice automatically to your supplier as a notification that the payment was made. One of the things that also, yeah, I don't know, Ankit, if you wanted to.
Sure, I can take this, Nadim. So, basically what we did was, before launching Wio Business, we spoke to a number of SMEs and tried to understand what are some of their biggest pain points. And turns out payments was one of the biggest pain points, right? And they voiced out 5 main challenges that they were facing, and which is here on the screen. But it echoed exactly what you said, Nadim, in your previous slide, right? SMEs today use different systems. When we spoke to them, they already had a platform that they were using for their payroll. They had something that they were using for their accounting. And then we went ahead and said, okay, we are going to give you a banking platform. So then they said, oh, I have another platform to manage, right? Now, there could be so many more such platforms that they have to manage. It becomes very hard for them to do it. It takes up a lot of time, which is a lot of productivity loss, right? So we saw this and we said, why can't we see in what we can integrate and reduce those platforms? So that was one of the genesis why we said, let's see how we can integrate payments and banking within the accounting platform, right? So that's how it started. The other challenge that the SMEs told us was that when you're not making the payments on time, right, your vendor relationship starts getting hampered. Because if the payments are made and the invoices are cleared on time, the vendors are happy, it builds trust. You can avoid potential late fines or any of those sort, or you can even negotiate better terms with your vendor if you are paying them on time, right? But with manual payments, it was always hard to do that. The third thing was that, and I think a lot of our participants will agree with this, right? When we spoke to our SMEs, they said that when they receive payments from other banks, many times there's no notes or narrations on it. They have no idea what the payment was for, right? There's no invoice number mentioned, there's nothing. So they have to go back to the sender and understand for which invoice have they made the payment, because many times the invoice amounts are the same. So they really can't reconcile very well. And this was a big pain point when you're receiving ad hoc fragmented payments through your banking platform. Also, the challenge with manual payments is that you don't really have full control over it, right? There is no proper approval flow. There could be unauthorized transactions or even fraudulent transactions, right? That's a big risk that SMEs were facing at that time. And also, manual payments do not have as good of a digital footprint that's required for reporting regulatory purposes, right? So from a compliance point of view, it's great to have an automated payment system because you've got all the digital footprints that's required for reporting purposes.
Great. Yeah, so to recap, if you want to recap the pain points, delays, which potentially hurt the relationship with suppliers, human errors, and then lack of visibility on the approval process. Before we jump into the demo, I want to remind everybody, in case you are not aware also, that we have a coupon code that you can use to go and open a new Wio account and get 6 months free with Wio on their Grow plan. So go to their mobile app. The application happens on the mobile app only, and it's super smooth. It's super streamlined. I guarantee you within 4 minutes, you have the application submitted, and 2 days later, the account is opened. So use that coupon code to get 6 months free. And on top of that, we will also give you 125 dirhams of credit on your Wafeq account that you can use to pay for subscriptions on Wafeq. This offer is valid until 30 June.
Yes, just to add to it, the 6-month subscription value is worth about 1,500 dirhams for everyone. So with this package, you get all the services that we mentioned for free. You got a no minimum balance account, free debit cards, free virtual cards, free local transfers, free cash deposits, everything. Literally everything is bundled under one subscription, which you can now try out for free for the next 6 months.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's jump to it. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. We're going to use a demo organization. So we're going to show you the connection flow. We're going to show you, first, how you connect to your Wio account, how you make a payment, how do you make a direct payment without an invoice, and how you make a payment with an invoice. And then we'll show you how the reconciliation also happens. And then we can conclude with questions. So let me move to, so I've created, by the way, two, you'll see me, I'll be switching between two browsers. One browser is gonna have the authorizer, or like, let's say the business owner, or the final authorizer. And then another browser is gonna have the approver, which you can think of it's, let's say, your accounts payable accountant, for example, or your accounting firm that is handling your AP, okay? So when you log into Wafeq, if you go to your bank account section, so you're going to have two options. Either you already have a Wio account that you've been using on Wafeq, but that is not connected, that you can connect, or you can set up a new connection by adding a bank account. Usually you do this when you just open a Wio account. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click on add bank account, and I'm going to click link your Wio SME account. This is a reminder of this coupon. And then here, again, it gives you the option, do you want to create a new bank account on Wafeq, or do you want to connect one of the existing accounts? So these are some accounts that I set up ahead of this webinar and that are connected. And I'm going to go ahead and click connect. I'm going to do some things outside the screen just for security reasons, but I'm going to show you the important stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. So this is happening on the Wio website. So you might go through additional authentication for security. There's Emirates face recognition, which adds a big layer of security for the connection flow. Here, I've already done it, so it bypassed this step. Now, once you're on this consent screen here, you need to give Wafeq the authorization to read your account details. So here, this account has two bank accounts. One is in AED and one is in USD. In this case, I want to connect the AED account. And then the important part is the payout consent. So under the payout consent, you also need to give authorization for Wafeq to initiate payments on your behalf. So this is the same bank account. This is the AED account that I'm authorizing to make payouts. Currently, payouts are only available in AED and locally, but I'm sure the Wio team will be enabling cross-border payments at some point in the future. So here I'm ready to go ahead and allow Wafeq to access my Wio account. So I'm going to do this. Let me do this step outside the screen. So I got an SMS here. By the way, this is a live demo on actual real data. Okay, so now I entered my OTP. So I go back to Wafeq. Once I go back to Wafeq, Wafeq will immediately start to sync the statement and fetch the transactions from the statement. So this happens in the background. You will see a widget here. You can click and see what's going on. So it by default fetches the last 30 days, but you can go, I think you can go all the way back to the beginning of your bank statement. So while this happens in the background, you can close the screen, you can come back and do anything you want while this processes. You can also refresh to see the latest transactions that have been fetched up until now. Okay, so now that this bank account is connected, you're going to see the available balance. This is the actual real-time live balance of your account. This ledger balance, this is what's in your books. So it's from an accounting point of view. And you can see here that it's currently still syncing. Also, you'll notice two buttons came up now that are new. One is fetch statement, which is what's running at the moment. And one is make a payment. Okay, so and let's talk about the make a payment, which is the most exciting part of this presentation. Okay, so Ankit, if you want to jump in, ask me any questions, please do. So let's start with the AP flow, the accounts payable flow. How does it typically start? Typically, it starts with you receive an invoice from a supplier. Typically, you will receive it by email. What we have set up is a special inbox that is dedicated to your company. So you'll get a special email address that you can forward any receipts or bills or invoices to this inbox. It goes to this inbox. So here, for example, I forwarded, let's say, one of the supplier invoices to this inbox, and it shows up here. At this stage, Wafeq has already parsed, OCR'd, scanned this document, and extracted all the relevant information. So let's have a quick look at this invoice. So pretty standard invoice. And here, me as an accountant, what I want to do is typically I want to convert it to something, to a bill, because I plan to pay it later. This is not paid yet. So once I click convert to bill, Wafeq will pre-fill all the information that it was able to extract. So here you can see it extracted everything correctly. On top of that, you always have access to the context of that email. So if you go back and click on that email, let's say there's a big conversation between you and the supplier, your accountant has the full context of what's going on to understand how to either book this document or maybe discard it or take any appropriate action. So here, what you will notice is that our OCR will try to either identify the supplier based on a close match of the suppliers you have already on Wafeq, or it will match it by VAT number, which is obviously the most accurate type of match. If the supplier doesn't yet exist on Wafeq, Wafeq will automatically suggest to you to create it. And with a click of a button, it will automatically create it, including the VAT number, so that next time you have a very accurate lookup for that supplier. Okay. Okay, so now all looks good. I'm ready to book that the bill. So it goes into my accounts payable. And you can see here that now this document is linked to the bill. If I click through it, I'm going to see now that this document has been booked as a bill. You can see that there's a reference email or inbox document that it came through. This is the source. And then here, because you have a Wio account connected with payment enabled, you will have an extra button here that says pay through bank. Now, normally, if you don't have this, what do? You go to, when it's time to pay, you're going to go and log into your bank and create the beneficiary and make the payment. And then go back here and record the payment manually. You can say, okay, I paid it through my Wio account. Let's say, and then I'm going to save it. But now with this integration, you don't need to do any of that. You just need to start. Let me delete this payment. Okay, so now you can start the payment directly here, pay through bank. So here you're going to have the Wio bank accounts that are connected. Here, just for this demo, I have multiple ones, but typically you'll have one, which is your AED account. You have a quick peek at the available balance to know how much you have. Again, our OCR here is working to find any IBANs in the document. And if you do find an IBAN, now, in the case of Wio, for the connection, for security purposes, you need to have the beneficiary created in your Wio account before you can make a payment. And Wafeq will automatically fetch your beneficiaries in your Wio as soon as you open this page. Essentially, all of these, they are beneficiaries that are already approved in your Wio account. So you can select directly from them. So here, for example, I know that this is, let's say, this company. It's this company, Wiki FZ. I can see the IBAN. I can specify who bears the fees. I can specify the amount to pay here. It's by default set to the bill amount, but you can change it. The payment details that the beneficiary will receive will be the invoice number. And then on top of that, you can also send a payment advice to your supplier to tell them that the payment was made. And you can attach that same invoice so that they know what this payment was for. So let's say here I want to send a payment advice. I'm gonna just send it to myself. And then now I'm ready to pretty much either release if I am an admin, if I'm an authorizer. So you can see here I have access to all the actions, or I can submit for approval if I'm the accounts payable accountant. Okay. So now actually, in fact, let's switch to the accounts payable accountant view. So here I am logged in as Mo. So Mo is the AP accountant. As you can see, he doesn't have access to everything in Wafeq. He only has access to the accounts payable section. So he can see the bills here, and this is, for example, the bill that he may want to prepare. So so Mo will go and create a pay through bank. You can see here the action release is not available for Mo. You can only submit for approval. And I'm going to go ahead and prepare that payment, just like I did. I'm going to attach this, and I'm going to submit for approval. So once I click submit for approval, I have the option to notify the people that have the approval permission, or I can just submit without notifying. So here, let's say I want to notify Nadim, who is the approver. He has at least approval permission. I'm going to click submit and notify. This page just loaded. Looks like I'm having some network issues. Okay, so now if I look at what Nadim will receive, so Nadim will receive an email saying Mo is requesting you to approve one payment request. Okay, and you'll see here, me as Nadim, I'm seeing the details of that payment request. I see the beneficiary, I see the amount, and then here I can click view and approve. Now, let me open this in the other browser because I need to be the approver. So let's say I clicked on that link. So I click view and approve. So now the payment request is gonna open up for me. I'm gonna see the details. So I saw, okay, today Mo created that request. It's pending approval. These are the details. A payment advice will be sent to this email with this attachment. All looks good. If I want, I can reject it. But in this case, I'll just go ahead and release that payment. So I'm gonna click release. And here I'm going to be redirected to Wio's page where I should enter an OTP.
I just want to add, I mean, you would have seen that even while adding the approver and even this stage, we ask for OTP. This is to make sure that the transaction is extremely secure. For us as a bank, making sure that security is paramount. So the OTP that you enter is actually on a Wio homepage, because if you see the address is actually a secured Wio website is where you enter the OTP. So just this gives you comfort that when you're making the payments, it's actually being done on a trusted site.
Here, I'm back on Wafeq. I get a message that the payment was sent to the bank for processing. Once the bank processes the payment, the beneficiary will get the payment advice email that I will show you. Wafeq will automatically record a payment on the bill, and then Wafeq will also automatically reconcile the payment in your bank statement. So let's have a look now what happened. So first, you can see here the payment request. This is already processed. Sometimes it's not going to be instantly processed. There might be a few seconds, and then it'll get processed. Sometimes if it's after cutoff hours, it might take a bit longer. But now I can see that this has been processed. Now, if I go and look at, let me go actually to my bank account, my Wio bank account. That was, I believe, demo 1, right? Demo 1, yeah. So I'm going to go to demo 1, statement transaction. I can see that payment now immediately showed up. So Wafeq automatically pulled the statement, and it knows that this payment was for that bill, and it immediately reconciled. So you can see that now this bank transaction is matched with this bill payment. So now you have the whole flow. And now, because the payment has been processed, I should have gotten the email as a supplier. Which is this one. So the supplier will get payment advice from demo company. They will see the details and also the attachment, which is their invoice that they sent to us. Yeah. So this is the typical complete flow of a payment with a bill. So with a bill, meaning you had a bill recorded and then you made a payment for the bill. Now, you can have a different flow, which is a direct payment. Let's say you don't have a bill, you're making an advance payment maybe, or you're, I don't know, reimbursing an employee, or you want to pay anything that is not linked to a bill. The process is very similar, except that you started by going to your bank account. So you go into your bank account here, you can click make a payment directly, or if you go to any of these pages, once you're inside your bank account, you can click make payment here. Okay, so I'm going to click make payment. Again, this is the same page that we saw for the bill payment. Bank details, again, you specify the beneficiary, and then the amount to pay. Let's say I'm going to pay 13, and then let's say reimbursement. I can also send the payment advice. I'm going to skip it for now. And then here also, I have the auto-reconcile settings. So basically, this tells Wafeq that after the transaction shows up on the statement, where do you want to classify it? So you can classify it. You can select all of these options. So let's say here I want to classify it to office supplies. Okay, and I can specify the tax rate and so on. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and release immediately. I'm not going to go through an approval flow. Let's do that. And also, so at the moment, the payment flow supports single payments only. Bulk payments is not yet supported, but this is something that we're discussing with Wio. For some types of businesses where you have a large number of payouts, bulk payments become really important. However, for the vast majority of businesses, single payouts with this automation flow will save you a huge amount of time. So I just made the payment. This is a direct payment, again, without a bill. So same process. And if I go to the statement here, you can see, again, Wafeq automatically fetched the statement. It automatically also classified to the account that I specified when I was creating the payment. And the contact, because the contact is linked to the beneficiary. And speaking of beneficiaries, so we do sync your Wio beneficiaries regularly. So if you go to customers and suppliers and you go to beneficiaries, your beneficiaries here, they will be fetched from Wio automatically. And typically what you'll want to do, but Wafeq will do this for you during the payment flow, is you will want to connect a beneficiary with one of your contacts or your supplier. So for example, here, this beneficiary detail is linked to this contact. Okay. A limitation at the moment not on beneficiaries is you cannot, for security reasons, you cannot create a beneficiary from Wafeq and push it to Wio. In order to create a beneficiary, again, you have to go through the flow in your Wio account, which involves the EFR, Emirates face recognition. Plus, there's a 12-hour cooldown period where you cannot use a newly created beneficiary until that time has passed. Okay. And if you go back, by the way, to the bill here that was paid, you know that it's reconciled with this icon, the double green check. You know that it has been reconciled. It has been matched to a statement transaction. And if you click, you will see the statement transaction that it was matched to. Once you are, so the flow, I showed you the flow of connecting your Wio account directly, if it's a new bank account. If you have an existing bank account in Wafeq, for example, let's say you have this Wio account that is not connected, you can connect it to Wio by clicking edit and then starting the connection flow from here. Again, it takes you to the consent page of Wio. When you come back, this bank account will be connected and you'll be able to fetch the statement. Because if you go inside here, you can see that I don't have fetch statement here because it's not connected. You can, as soon as it's connected, the buttons fetch statement and make payment will show up. And by the way, one thing about the statement is a very cool thing about this is that the statement is really pretty much in real time. So as you can see, I made a payment and within a couple of seconds, immediately the transaction showed up. This is also one of the things that kind of like, it gives you almost like a real-time view of your cash, pretty much, through directly either the available balance, or if your accounts are always reconciled, if your transactions are always reconciled, you can also have the ledger balance represent also your real-time balance. Yeah. Another way to start the flow, which is a little bit more streamlined if you have a large number of, or let's say a good number of bills to pay. So typically, as I mentioned, if you're paying a single bill, you can start from here. Okay, you can start from here and go to pay through bank. If you have multiple bills to pay, let's say at the end of the month, you're doing your your AP, your aging report, and then you decide to pay a few bills, you can do that in bulk. So you can create multiple payment requests in bulk by going to your bank account, then bills to pay. So under bills to pay, it's going to show you all the bills that have an outstanding balance. Okay, so for example, here I have these 3 bills. When you see a red notification, it means this contact has no beneficiary assigned. You need to either make sure that you create it in Wio. You need to create it in Wio and wait for the activation, for the 12-hour cooldown. And then when you're making the payment, you need to link that contact with the beneficiary. Going back to the bulk creation flow, so let's say you have multiple bills here you want to pay. So you can select all the bills that you want to pay, and then you click prepare payment. So when you click prepare payment, it will automatically create payment requests in draft status for these bills. And then from then on, you're back to the flow that I was explaining in the beginning, which was you go through the authorization, the approval, and the release. And now at the moment, you cannot release more than one payment, as I mentioned. So you can release immediately from here. And then you can release. Or you can release from the single page. When you go from here, the last topic that I want to mention is authorization matrices. Now, yeah, so you can, I was saying you can release from here. So, now, one thing you can configure on Wafeq at the moment, you should configure it through your Wafeq account manager. You cannot configure it on your own. Is set up authorization matrices. So what is an authorization matrix? Typically, it's I'll show you. This is an example of almost an authorization matrix. So an authorization matrix defines the permissions for each user or each role in terms of the maximum amount of payment that they're allowed to release. So for example, let's say you, as a business owner, you are okay if your accountant releases up to 1,000 dirhams in payments. Okay, and then between 1,000 to 10,000, it has to be, let's say, the CFO or the finance manager, and then anything above 10,000 has to be the CEO. You can set these up. We on Wafeq side can set up these matrices for you, and you can also set them up by currency. But at the moment, with Wio, the AED currency is supported. But from our side, once Wio enables multi-currency, you'll be also able to add authorization matrices by currency. So here, this is an example of a summary of whether I'm allowed or not. So here, because I'm the owner of this organization, I'm the owner of the Wio account, I can authorize any payment. If I cannot authorize, it will tell me, for example, that max allowed is, let's say, 1,000. And the largest payment, if it's more than 1,000, it will not allow me to release this payment. This is a really powerful tool, especially for organizations that, let's say, are kind of mid-size, are going beyond the basically just one business owner who authorizes all payments. If you want to simplify your processes and you want to make it possible for an accountant to release, let's say, smaller amounts, so you don't have to deal with it, this is a great feature that allows you to do just that. Yeah, I think we can. Unless you have any more comments, Ankit, I think we can start taking questions from.
Yes, Nadim, I see there are a few questions that our participants have asked. We can address them, but it's always great when a live demo works really well. So that's great. Let's pick up the questions if you want.
Yeah. Badr, do we have or I should open the questions? I don't know. Q&A. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Alex is asking about cross-border payments, which we discussed, and he's saying he's also very happy with Wio.
So,
Yeah.
Alex, I mean, if you're still around, I'll answer the question that apart from Stripe, we also have other partners that you could potentially use for payment gateway to receive payments, or you can just do Swift transfers. You have a multi-currency IBAN. You can share it with your partner in Germany, and they can just send you the payments via that. But yes, like as Nadim mentioned, it won't be within the Wafeq for now because we're not doing cross-border payments.
And so, Alex, if you use Stripe, so Wafeq has an integration with Stripe that allows you to create payment links whenever you're creating an invoice. So if you notice I don't know, Alex, if you have a Wafeq account, but if you do, when you're creating an invoice, you'll have the option here to choose Stripe as the payment processor. So you connect your own Stripe account, you send the invoice to your customer, the customer will be able to pay the invoice online through your own Stripe account. And this is a free service. We don't charge for it. There's no extra fees beyond the Stripe processing fees. Someone is asking how much is the regular subscription for Wio without the promotion? I guess they're asking for Wio. I think you answered that. Maybe we can remind them. Ankit.
Yes, so we have two subscription packages. So the essential package starts at 99 dirhams a month. And then we have the plus package, which we call as Grow, which is for 249 dirhams a month. So we have two packages which are without the promotion if you want to pay.
Yep. And on Wafeq, the subscriptions are start at open them. So you have yearly subscriptions, which gives you 2 months free, and you have monthly subscriptions. And the Wio integration is available on all plans.
I think there was one question before that, somebody by the name of Gurma. Okay, so I think she's looking for payment links. So Gurma, yes, Wio offers payment links. We do have that. So if you can just write to me separately, I'm happy to share my email address. Just let us know your requirements and then we can address it. But we do offer payment links.
Someone's asking, there are instances that when we fetch the bank transactions, there would be duplicate entries. Why does this happen? So if you go to the statement page on your bank account in Wafeq, before you connect Wio, you probably have been importing manually your statement. Okay, when you import manually your statement, we cannot tell whether this. Basically, we cannot tell whether this transaction that you imported came from the connection of Wio or from the manual import. Now, this is something we need to work on. We definitely are aware of this issue, but that's the reason why there are duplicate entries is because you probably imported manually one transaction and then you refetched it on the same day, on the same date, and it creates duplicate entries. this is something it's on our side that we need to fix in order to identify transactions and deduplicate them. So Christoph is saying all is working the same for me. Only challenge is that the owner only gets the OTP codes after 3 minutes when it expired. Any advice?
So from my side, what I can say is that the OTPs are sent by the network, which is your telecom operator. Unfortunately, there could be some network delays, which is causing it, but that should not be the norm. If you're consistently getting OTPs late and it's expiring, do let us know. We will try to see if there's some tech issue, but generally this is OTPs are triggered by the network provider, the telecom provider you're on. So just let me know if you're in the country or your owner is in the country when the OTPs are being sent, because typically some delays happen if the owner is traveling and the OTPs have to be sent outside the UAE.
Yeah, I do face, I mean, also I'm sure many others face delayed OTPs also with other banks. It's not something, I mean, it's something very common that you don't get the OTP. But if you're getting it every time, then maybe reach out to your support. But I know it happens even across the UAE. SMS providers sometimes are not online or available. I have a question here. Is it possible to have these settings for accounting company with multiple clients in Wafeq, or is it available for business owners only? This feature is available. It can be available with multiple companies. So you, as an accounting firm, let's say, first you can manage multiple organizations. You can switch to organizations, multiple organizations. You can have multiple tabs open, one for each organization. And then the way we recommend is that you ask the owner to connect their Wio account just once. And then you can fetch the statement anytime you want. You don't need an OTP to fetch the statement. So you, as an accounting firm, for example, you can start even selling AP, for example, accounts payable as an add-on service. Because my understanding is that most accounting firms don't do AP at the moment because it's too complex. But now with this flow, it should be much, much easier. You prepare the payment, you submit for approval. And then if you want the owner to actually be a user in Wafeq, like I showed in the email that is received by the owner, then he can just click view and release, and then he can just release by himself. I know the OTP is a step that might add a bit of friction to the process, but you can have the owner also approve and release right from Wafeq after he gets the notification email. Is the connection between Wio and Wafeq limited to AED accounts only? No. So you can connect your other currency accounts, and it will allow you also to get your statement for all currency accounts. However, only payments is limited to AED currency. Okay, we have a question. If you create an invoice in Wafeq, is the invoice saved also in Wio? No, invoices in Wafeq are not pushed to Wio. And also the opposite is not true. So if you create an invoice in Wio, it is not pushed to Wafeq. So is there an email? Not sure who this question is addressed to, but somebody's asking about an email address to ask for payment link options. Maybe Mohammed,
Maybe
if you
this is,
can
yes.
just clarify.
So you can share my email address. I think to Mohammed Sami who wants this. So yes, I can share it at the end of the webinar.
Yeah, same thing. I think Alex is also asking about the same thing. Okay, I try to log into my Wio account of the company, but don't get the OTP to my email or phone number. It is received to my manager's phone number. Why is this? This is a question from Nada. So when you connect your Wio account, I believe the user who is connecting has to be the owner of the Wio account, if I'm not mistaken. Something I can verify with the Wio team.
Yes, it's the number which is saved as the primary authorized user for that account, which is the one who gets the OTP. So you just have to make sure that your number is saved on Wio in order to get the OTP on your number.
Last question. Should I connect the USD account but payout consent is AED account? Yes. So we recommend the way you do the connection is, let's say this is your Wio USD account that is on Wafeq. So you can go and link it. When you're on the consent screen, you choose the toggle for the USD account, and you won't see the toggle for the payout for the USD account. So here, for example, let's say this is the USD account, so I will just toggle this one, and you will see that the payout consent is only available for the AED account. Yeah, here, because, okay, this is something that, yeah, like this. I think we can wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and thank you for your questions. Thanks, Ankit, for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
really,
and thank you
really
for all
great.
the participants. I think it was a very lively chat on the Q&A. So thank you for all the questions for everyone.
Yep. And have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.